to the 3 Counting Out podcast. We have a very, very, very big episode ahead. It's going to be a little bit of a weird one. Today, there's only 3 of us. That is because FGK, is fighting in the trenches as works at a bar on a playoff day. So, rest in peace. But we're going to go on without him. Today, we're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble. We're going to be doing a little bit of playoff talk, but we're also talking during the Chiefs-Ravens game. And then, of course, the Lions game. We're all fans. But let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Era V1. I am, I guess, now the host of this shit since Mike called me it last week. I'll take it. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to have some Royal Rumbling talks. I was live tweeting it last night. So I'm going to just be taking a lot of those live tweets and then just making them into actual thoughtful conversation. It's going to be great.
I'm the bootios at the bottom of the box that you just don't feel like grabbing, Jackal Joker. How's it going, everyone?
It's the best way I've ever heard you describe yourself. I'm Swanee, Mike, and I am definitely interested to see. It wasn't a massive pay-per-view, but it was. It was there. It was about medium size, so it
was there.
I'm interested to see, what everybody thinks about it.
I gotta say right off the rip, I thought that the men's Rumble match, it didn't suck, but it wasn't good. I like the women's Rumble match a whole hell of a lot more. So
oh my God, yeah. What was your overall thought of the whole pay-per-view?
Overall, I thought the women's match was great. I thought it was one of the better women's Royal Rumbles that they've done. I thought that the Roman Reigns match was a Roman match. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. Gonna be honest, didn't watch it. Sorry, that was my piss break match. And then the men's Rumble, that should have been my piss break match. It was good. I'm glad that Cody won, but I'm also sure, I guess. I mean, I hate that they keep bringing up like the innings thing. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. Michael Cole thinks that he's so smart when he shouts it out at the end to get that little voice capture. I'm sure I'll hear it fucking 40,000 times in the link in April.
Yep.
I want Cody to win. I just don't give a shit.
It was a damn shame. Let's pick one. Let's pick one to do a little in-depth dive in first, because all 4 I got thoughts on each individual one. But which one should we go a little more in depth on first?
I wanted to hear just how you thought of the pay-per-view as a whole before, and I think we should just go. Yeah, we should just go straight down the line after that. But what do you think of the whole production?
If you're talking production specifically, one thing I do want to mention that I will give WWE major kudos for is that Kevin Dunn is gone and you can feel it. And I feel like that is a phenomenal thing. They relied a lot on that one drone shot that showed off the one end of the stadium quite a bit. It was cool at first, but after they did it, 6 other times, it was like, oh, right, not as cool, but I still enjoy it. It just gave WWE more of a sporty feel. They're trying to move away from this whole thing of, oh, we got to make it look like entertainment and a movie and this, that, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, let's actually make it look like this is a fight and a bunch of people are coming together to kick each other's ass for a really cool opportunity. And I felt that come through in the cinematography of the Rumble last night. In terms of storytelling and match performance, though, the women's Rumble, I can still safely say, in terms of quality, was probably the best match of the night, and doesn't mean a lot coming from me, unfortunately, because I was driving for actually half of it. I got out of work at 8 o'clock, and Kevin was having a little viewing party over at his house, and I worked about a half hour away from his house. So unfortunately, that means I didn't end up getting there till about entrant 15. So with what little bit I did watch, I was still thoroughly entertained. I feel like the right person won. I feel like everybody was able to show off their own shit in a good way. The Roman Reigns match, It was a Roman Reigns match. I'm not sure what else I can say besides that, because bless his dear little heart, he's not here to talk about it, but sweet little Kevin thought that this was going to be the first Roman Reigns match that he was going to win clean. And when Solo Sikoa showed up, his eyes rolled so far into the back of his head, I thought they were going to fall out.
Yeah, I think he was looking at his skull at that point.
Me and Mike both looked at him and went, really? You thought anything but this was going to happen? And it was just, it was sad seeing him all hopeful and getting his hopes let down, but it was just your run-of-the-mill Roman match. I personally enjoyed the fact that he did not stack the three other men in the match, because I thought that would make them look real bad.
Make him look weak.
Oh, yeah, no, real weak. Logan Paul, Kevin Owens probably has my favorite, I'm not going to say favorite match of the night, but probably my favorite spot of the night, when the fucking ref, who was trying to go for a goddamn Oscar with his performance,
I
saw
did see
the
that
brass
clip,
knucks on Kevin Owens and
I love that.
No!
I love that face, man. I love it. I've been seeing it all over Twitter. It's great.
It's fucking amazing. That ref needs a raise. He needs to referee a real important match at Mania this year. I'll tell you that much. Other than that, it was nice seeing Logan Paul actually get to take a couple bumps and work with someone that isn't a high flyer, because he's essentially done that with every single person he's worked with in WWE so far. So it was, again, he's still, the most punchable man this side of the Mississippi, but it was nice to see a different change of pace and also to see him get put through a table at the end. As far as the men's goes, woof. Is just, are they trying to change the Rumble as we know it? Because there was not really any surprises. I'm not going to count Andrade as a surprise, because that was super, super calculated. Essentially, everybody knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
No surprises. McAfee wasn't a surprise. If you count Sami Zayn and Omos as a surprise, I hate to tell you, you're wrong. Sami Zayn was gone for less than a month. That's not a real surprise. McAfee, sure, but that was just a joke. Braun Breaker getting called up, maybe. But
I got thoughts about Braun. We'll get into that later. I got thoughts.
There was no surprises. There was no Kofi spot. Like, are they just trying to change the Rumble as we know it in front of us without really saying anything? Because, man, it was just a big old burger and nothing.
We'll get into the Kofi spot later too, because somebody else had one instead.
Regardless, the Rumble was okay. Out of the past four Big Four pay-per-views I've saw, I feel like this one was definitely firmly in last place. I'd give it like a solid, hearty 5 out of 10 so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lukewarm way to start the year, I think, right? Like, it got done and you were like, okay, on to the next one. Like, it seems like it's weird because normally they don't, but it seemed like they looked past Royal Rumble to set up for Perth. We're going to Australia, got to be ready for that. What about Royal Rumble? Yep, that's a thing. You're right.
Especially if you look at last year, too, with everything in the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, like, at least once it ended, you knew that there was going to be some sort of payoff with Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber. Yeah. This year, I couldn't fucking tell you what's going to happen at Elimination Chamber. I mean, some people might see that as a good thing, but I take that as I have nothing to get excited for.
Is Roman even showing up to Elimination Chamber?
Twitter is saying no at the moment, that he is not booked for the chamber.
Oh, great. Love it.
Yep.
Defending champ right there, guys.
Mm-hmm.
What is he? Fucking 1,200 something days? What did Michael Cole say?
He's almost at 1,300, isn't he?
It's damn close. I just don't care. I don't care about Roman Reigns. It's like, yeah, he's good.
So,
but like, why? Why are we doing this?
Let's save the Roman trashing for his match.
Yeah.
Plenty of time for it. Let's talk about that. The best match of the night, and it was the first one.
Oh yeah.
What'd you guys like? About that women's match? How'd you feel?
Shout out to Jordan Grace, right?
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Makes me
we got Naomi back.
The knockouts even more after that.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they've had the TNA Knockouts champion 2 years in a row now. Like, that's...
Yeah. It was, what was her face last year? Mickey James.
Yeah, like, that's a crazy thing for Triple H to be doing. Like, the fact that he's even acknowledging it.
From what I read is that Mickey James wasn't really under contract. She had a verbal one. But Jordan Grace has had a long-term ass contract there for a while. So, I mean, it's awesome that they have her coming in and doing that stuff and showcasing herself on an even bigger stage than she normally has.
I want to see more of that kind of stuff. I want to see more people coming in. I know Triple H said that, he doesn't want to use the term forbidden door because it's silly or whatever shot he took at Tony Khan. I just want to see more of it. I think that the Royal Rumble in years past has been kind of dialing down a little bit. There were these great Rumbles with these great surprise returns in like the early 2000s. And then it's kind of in a lull right now. And I feel like, even if they don't have the legends to do it, let's say they want to put in Raw and SmackDown and NXT, and they maybe only have one or two more spots. And they're like, how can we use this spot? I think reaching out to TNA or reaching out to who are they working with in Japan? All Japan? Like, I think like getting more people in there, it's going to get that product more exposure, and it's just going to like be better overall, because that's what we want to see when you're watching the Royal Rumble. You want to not know who is coming next.
Can I just say, I hope this era of announcing everybody that's going to be in the Rumble, I hope that stops, because like look at Punk. I know they brought him back in Survivor Series to get the Chicago pop, but imagine the roof blowing off of that joint if they kept him private, unannounced, and gave him a spot in the Rumble instead of bringing him back for the ending of Survivor Series. Like shit like that, And then last year too, having Cody come back from the pec injury and making a little vignette on Raw just so they can have that little ratings boost of that week, saying, "Oh my God, Cody Rhodes is coming back. What's he going to talk about? Oh, his actual return is going to be in the Rumble. Everybody buy tickets now." I get it. From a business perspective, I get it. They want to. Okay, Cody Rhodes is going to be back. He's been gone for 9 months. Where's his first match going to be back in? The Rumble. All right, let's tell people that so we can spike sales to make this a little bit of a higher buy, if you know what I mean. We gotta up our premium live event sales. But again, if you would have kept quiet about that and just had that doom doom, wrestling has more than one royal family, start playing unannounced. Oh, that's the type of shit, in my opinion, has been missing from the Rumble ever since Edge came back in the 2020 Rumble. I don't think any return has been on that level since that point, and I don't know if we're ever going to get one of that caliber again. So
at that point, I mean, with Edge, it was, a guy like Brian Danielson now. It was somebody that they were like, well, he's not going to wrestle again, otherwise he's going to become a vegetable. And all of a sudden they were like, oh wait, we lied. He can go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as Rumble surprises, I think Bayley said it best after her win. She's like, we didn't have to use legends. We don't you don't want to see a 55-year-old guy, a 60, 70-year-old guy come in and go, I'm in the Rumble. You get people from other companies. You get people from NXT. You get to showcase them. I mean, the pop Jade got.
Oh my God,
huge,
dude.
Right?
Oh, crazy! Dude, good for her.
Naomi coming back. She was crying at the beginning of the Rumble because she didn't think people were going to cheer for her.
Don't get me wrong. When I say I want, surprise returns and everything, that doesn't mean it's like, let's call Hacksaw Jim Duggan and see what his ass is doing,
Right.
Like please, take that as like, if they can get the women's knockout champion and for the women's Rumble, like why couldn't we get like fucking Moose or Joe Henry or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, it is weird that it's been the women both times and not any men. I
think that's because WWE just doesn't right now anyway, they don't have enough women stars. You have tons of people that are coming up. You have like a lot of really good moments that happened in the Women's Rumble. I mean, Maxine Dupree, I think, understood the assignment. That was the most entertaining thing to watch besides R-Truth entering into the Rumble and Jade Cargill cleaning house. Like, I think that the women's division right now in WWE is in a spot where they have that extra opportunity and they don't want to rely on the legends. So they can bring the people in. I think the men's roster right now, I mean, I'm sure I sound like a broken record, but the men's roster right now is bloated and they have two champions that can't defend or won't defend.
Kind of really put themselves in a pigeonhole with this one. They're stuck in a sticky situation, and they got to wait a couple more months to finally get themselves out of it.
Speaking of waiting a couple more months, I want to see at WrestleMania, I want to see Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. I want to see it.
Has that little stare down. It was so good.
Feed that to me on a silver platter, please. Ugh.
But then they had that iconic ass shot where all four, it was Liv, Jade, Bianca, and Tiffany. They were all at ringside, and that shot, I was like, there it is right there. Four people that could be going for a belt at any moment. And it's just one of those, you're like, this division could be stacked whenever they wanted to.
The first step to fixing that problem is starting to put women's matches on the fucking card, people. Jesus, man.
Come on, Hunter.
And that's, and it's not her fault. The fact that we get a Rhea Ripley match as champion once every, 3 fucking months, it seems. I know they're saving her for Perth. They want her to get a huge pop, but it's like, it's Royal Rumble, man. You're not going to have a women's championship match at fucking Royal Rumble? Really?
Yeah, this card felt very small.
No, only 4.
It was 4 matches.
Yeah, it was like, I understand that the Rumble matches are just over an hour. Like, I get that they're just long and you need a lot of time for it, but I feel like the Rumble matches before used to have a lot more mid-card stuff, and it used to let a lot more people kind of have spots on pay-per-views that wouldn't normally have those spots.
That was back when they were only running just the men's Rumble, though. They didn't have any women's to worry about back then.
Yeah, Kev looked yesterday. Last year was only 5 matches. So this is just kind of their thing now, where it's like, all right, we're just going to let all the matches be long. And it's like, I mean, that can be good, but then you have stuff like the second match where you know what's going to happen already. And you're like, yeah, there it is. Hooray.
You can go tune out, and Roman Reigns is going to take 5 minutes to walk down to the ring, and then you can go like walk away for another 40, 45 until the actual good part starts.
Yeah. I think
the best. Go ahead.
Please, Mike. I cut you off so much in the last episode. I know you want to just cut me off this one. I understand.
No, I was going to say, I think the only, my favorite part of that was him taking back-to-back-to-back finishers. Other than that, I was just like, yeah, okay, it's a match.
Yeah, I loved when they were just holding Roman in the corner. They were just beating up on him the whole time. I was like, good.
That was pretty fun. I thought that the fact that Roman was going on second, and I would love for someone out there to do some homework to figure out the last time Roman Reigns had a match that wasn't the main event. Like, that is a long time coming since that happened. I thought since they were going to move it and the men's was going to close out the show, I thought something a little more crazy was going to happen than just Michael Cole screaming out little clips and Cody Rhodes pointing and giving a little homage to the Bucks and Kenny still. But, man, this Roman match is just so... Like Mike talked about it a lot in our little SummerSlam review that we did. It just felt very, very cookie cutter again. Like, it was just a Roman Reigns match at this point, where he gets the early offense, he lets his opponents get a little bit in, hit their finishers, family interference, and then a little bit of more shenanigans. Everybody hits more finishers, and Roman Reigns gets to hit the last one. It's been very much the same thing since he's won that title, and it's just I have no.
It makes it seem like he is just and maybe that's what they're going for. It makes it seem like he's a champion that can't win on his own.
That's right? Yeah. I mean, Kevin brought it up.
Maybe that's what they're going for.
The last time he won clean was shit. I feel like the last time he won clean was when he beat Strowman and The Fiend for the fucking title, and that was back when one of those two men were still alive.
Yeah.
Many years ago. I think it was probably 2018 or 2019.
Isn't it the pandemic?
Yeah, it would have been 2020.
Was he?
I believe he came back.
Right before he left or something?
No, when he came back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's when his climb started. He's been probably undefeated since, probably, I imagine.
In singles. I know he's been pinned for the little tag match at Money in the Bank, but that's about it.
That doesn't count.
It did nothing for it now. It led to the tribal combat match where it was just those two at ringside, even though Jimmy came down and broke the sacred rules of the tribal combat match. But this isn't a SummerSlam review. This is a Royal Rumble review, Jackal. Shut the hell up.
You know, I do want to point out that I just haven't really liked Solo Sikoa since they put shoes on him. And that's a really weird point of reference to have. But a couple of weeks ago, I guess since it's been cold, he's had to wear shoes now. And ever since then, he just seems like it seems off, and it doesn't seem new. Like, I guess when he was doing stuff beforehand, it was all still relatively novel of him coming out, and I mean, obviously it's all his dad's shit anyway, but just having it presented that way. And now I guess he's just been on for long enough where it's I'm not afraid of him. Well, I don't care.
He is cursed right now.
Yeah, when he came out last night, I was just oh, God damn it. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. But I mean, he got hit with the John Cena curse. It was the same thing that happened to Austin Theory. Beat him Mania, and he hasn't won a match since.
And then Bupkiss since that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's
they built him up. He hit 7 things on Cena that match, 7 of his spikes. Pinned him clean and hasn't won since. And now they're just making him look like he's kind of a loser. It's yikes.
I personally feel that's kind of also the downside of the characters that don't talk, because at the same time, it's the John Cena curse, but let's call it what it is. There's been absolutely no character growth since he showed up at Clash at the Castle outside of looking at Roman Reigns the wrong way, and that's it. Or maybe not giving Jay a high five, or not dapping up Jimmy. And there's been nothing outside of that. And personally, that's the type of shit that makes me stop caring in someone. Is okay, you're just the same person since you showed up, a year and a half, 2 years ago. Why should I care about you? You haven't grown at all.
They keep doing the same hoodie spot over and over and over. Oh my God, who's that in the black hoodie? Probably the same fucking dude that it was last time. By the way, he's also wearing shorts with his fucking name on it. What do you mean, who's that in the black hoodie? It's fucking Solo Sikoa. Yeah.
Somebody could have stole his shorts.
I would honestly, I'm hoping that because they keep doing the same hoodie spot with Solo Sikoa, that at some point, I want them to pull the hoodie back and it's not Solo. I want it to be Jacob or Lance or Arch, just someone that's still in somebody new to the bloodline, but then somebody that's also not just gonna be I'm gonna Samoan Spike anybody that gets in my way, somebody with a little bit of fucking charisma,
It's one of Logan Paul's crew.
Whoa!
Oh no!
Which one? Bob?
Not
what was his name?
Jerry? Phil? I don't remember.
Pat McAfee, I think, just made a name up. I don't.
It's Greg. I know it. It's him. God, on the subject real quick. I want Hunter to sit down with Pat one-on-one and just give that man a fucking blank check for the love of God. Fill in whatever you want. Come back and work for us, please.
Oh, I said it last night, and now there's actually like a full picture of what happened. So I thought last night that Brock Lesnar was obviously pulled from the event. That was reported well before the Royal Rumble because of all the allegations that are going on, allegedly. But I think that I thought anyway that they gave Lesnar's spot to McAfee. Apparently what happened is they gave Lesnar's spot to Braun Breaker. And he got all of the eliminations that Lesnar was supposed to have. Now, granted, Braun got thrown out by Dominic Mysterio. I don't think Brock Lesnar would have got thrown out by Dominic Mysterio.
They said that they were reporting that Brock was supposed to also get basically tricked, and you know how like the underhanded guy always tackles like a monster, like the big guy. Yeah, it was going to be something like that where he squeaked out an elimination over Brock. But instead it was Braun, which actually makes a bit more sense.
Apparently, Pat McAfee had no idea he was going to be in the Rumble last night. So he did an interview and he said that nobody told him about it. He was not prepared at all. And he found out like then and there that he was supposed to be in the Rumble. So Pat McAfee is a fucking comedic legend. His timing could not be any fucking better.
It was hilarious, dude.
Him and R-Truth. I want them in a room together. R-Truth could be in the women's Rumble. Pat McAfee could be in the men's.
That is a duo I did not know I needed. And now that duo has a chance of existing, I need it so bad and so fast. I need it tomorrow, Hunter. I can't even say the bad V word anymore. I forgot he's not there anymore.
You shall not be named. What a crazy shit. While we're talking about it though, Braun Breaker, I said earlier that I have thoughts between Braun. I need Braun Breaker injected into my veins. I need it full fucking force. I want him on the main roster. And come April, I want to see Braun versus Gunther at WrestleMania. I want to see him in either some crazy, outlandish match that lets Braun Breaker channel his inner Scott Steiner, or I want to see him in an Iron Man match. Those are like that. That is the only. I think them in an Iron Man match would be great. I think both those dudes can fucking go. Just let him out there for like an hour. I just want all of it.
Which makes me believe even more that was Brock's spot, because I feel like we were honestly working towards Brock Gunther at Mania. That feels like the match that made the most sense. And Braun, it's like it makes sense that he took Brock's spot, but it also kind of sucks at the same time, just knowing that they also weren't going to call him up at this point, because that was originally going to be Brock's spot. Like, there was no room for Braun in the Rumble, and it's like, okay, if all of this shit doesn't come out, when does Braun get called up? Because I feel like he's kind of running out of things to do in NXT at the same time. So this is
especially doing side missions over there now.
Hey, he's one half of the Wolf Dogs.
It's true. Not really much else for him to do though.
Him and Baron Corbin, the most, the tag team that everybody always wanted to see.
Right. It never knew we needed it, but we got it anyways, I guess.
Baron Corbin shouldn't have been a tag team a long while ago.
I will absolutely give credit where credit is due. Baron looks like he's having a lot of fun again.
Oh, yeah.
He
looks like he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw Baron hit a combo like a Death Valley driver into a brainbuster?
Yeah, that was crazy.
You told me about that last night. I went home, looked it up. Holy shit, that was impressive. That was really good for Baron Corbin. Good lord.
I will say NXT's cooking anytime I watch it, but I know, Jackal, you don't watch NXT, so
Hey. After what I've seen so far, though, I think that's enough to get me on board.
You should start. You should.
What would be the best way to go about doing it if there are any viewers out there who need to start watching wrestling more? Like, could I watch highlights on the cock, or do I have to get some sort of streaming service or something?
Go back and watch the most recent PLE that they did and start from there. Because in my opinion, every couple of months, whenever NXT gets to a point where they're doing like one of their own events, that to them is like a significant point of roster change. So you can kind of just like go from there and start. You will be a little bit confused, but I mean, as long as you kind of generally know who's who, they're all trying to figure it out at the same time too. So like you can kind of jump in certain storylines, and it's weird, but I mean, at the same time, it is pretty consistent. It's developmental, but it kind of doesn't feel like developmental. It feels like a whole bunch of people of different backgrounds trying to put together a wrestling show. And so you get to see how all of these crazy talented college athletes can take whatever they already know how to do and work that into a wrestling ring. It's a lot of interesting stuff that you honestly just will not see because people aren't thinking of it yet.
It's going to be very, very different for me because the last time I consistently watched NXT was the black and gold era. So it was very much the time where everybody on the roster was already indie wrestlers. They kind of already knew what they were doing. And now we've gone into this time frame where NIL deals exist, where WWE can actually go out and talk to all of these college athletes and everything to kind of, stack the roster, do this, do that, and make it full of people who are genuinely learning the craft instead of people who already know what they're doing and they're just honing their style to match the WWE product. So it is going to be very much a different NXT, and to be honest, I'm kind of excited to give it a try.
Yeah, there's a lot more to NXT than just Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. There's a lot more. Contrary to what WWE main roster TV wants you to believe, there's a lot more than just Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and I guess Grayson Waller. Like, who else are they showing?
Like Trick Williams, baby!
Whoop that Trick! I fucking love Trick Williams. I love Trick Williams so much. Oh my god. He's so good.
But then you have Ilya Dragunov that looks like he's attempting murder every match.
Every time, dude. Sometimes I wonder if Ilya's hurting himself more than he. It's like, damn, dude, you okay? You good?
It looks so good, though. He makes every match look like it's 5 stars.
I wasn't Ilya in the Rumble
every time.
Well, he is still NXT champion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, because I feel like they've had the NXT champ in the Rumble a couple times before,
they've had him kind of in a he's injured angle lately.
Okay.
And they're still kind of doing this thing where he's like feuding with Carmelo Hayes, but Trick Williams is supposed to challenge him for the belt at some point. So yeah, there's a whole storyline there.
All right,
maybe we can do a little NXT podcast in the future once I get some catching up to do, because we are still Rumble review, as fun as it is to talk about NXT, but at this point
we're going to talk about that.
We want to talk about the Royal Rumble. Let's talk about R-Truth hitting the fucking hot tag, dude.
The first ever hot tag in a Royal Rumble match completed.
And Dominic Mysterio fucking tagged him in. That's the funniest shit to me. It's the funniest shit to me that Dom followed through. It was a great fucking tag.
It was a good
man. Pop me, it was awesome.
And then we just sat there and nothing else really happened for the next 20 minutes, and then I turned off the TV.
Yeah, and then CM Punk got all upset, and he said, "I'm not gonna lose to Dusty's kid," and then he lost to Dusty's kid.
And then literally 10 seconds later, after he said that, it's like, fuck sake, dude.
No, he meant he wasn't gonna lose to Goldust. That's what he meant.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh.
Oof, that makes a lot more sense now. I just thought he was talking out of his ass. He never. I was worried.
No, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, CM Punk is here to make friends. All right, he's not here to make money. He's here to make friends. That's exactly what he said. Not the other way around. Nope.
Word for word.
Yeah.
Good guy Punk.
I don't know. I feel like I've already said all that I had to say about this Rumble match. It was just sort of a big ball of meh. We knew that twice in a lifetime was already happening ever since Cody lost at 39 and then immediately went in a different direction away from Roman. It's like they're going to keep him away. They're not going to do a rubber match and have him fight 3, 4, 5 different times. It's twice in a lifetime. A retelling of Cena Rock. And I don't know. I just still really firmly believe Cody's winning at 40 because if they have Roman win again, I'm going to be upset. But I'm imagining I'm not going to be as upset as someone who's going to be there live watching it in person.
If Cody Rhodes doesn't win at WrestleMania, Philadelphia is going to be on fire. There's no way around it, man. Cody Rhodes has to win.
It wouldn't make sense.
No, at all.
No. He has to win. He is literally the top guy. I mean, like he won back-to-back Royal Rumbles. It was like the first time in like 26 years.
Since Stone Cold did it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're up there with Stone Cold, and I think Shawn Michaels did it, and then I think
man Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, old man Hulk Hogan. There we go. That's why I block him out of my mind. I'm so glad he wasn't number 30.
I wonder why you do
so
that.
Glad. But,
Yeah, what did the Iron Sheik always say about him?
but like, to be put into that group and to not have one WWE championship, Randy Orton is going after 15.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, how do you get put into that group and you don't have one fucking WWE championship? He needs to win it, because if he doesn't win at WrestleMania, it's over. His story is finished, whether it's good for him or not.
It's done, because you're gonna have a real hard time getting anybody to care about him again. A real hard time.
Side note, what I really hope happens, just as an extra FU, he wins, crowd goes wild. Damian Priest, who hasn't been doing anything, comes in, cashes in on him, makes him lose that belt in about 14 seconds.
Dude, what was with Damian Priest just fucking clocking R-Truth? Did I miss something? I thought they were friends, like, on Monday.
Yeah, didn't R-Truth give him a cut of the merch? Like,
yeah, they was getting money.
Yeah.
He was. I thought R-Truth was in. Like, I mean, I get Royal Rumble, every man for himself, but like, damn, that was right off the rip. He got in the ring and he was like, "Yeah, man, fuck your ass," and just knocked him out. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
What an asshole, man. Goodness gracious. All my homies hate Damian Priest. We all love R-Truth. Here's R-Truth.
Quick sidebar, because I forgot to bring it up during the women's. I don't know if you were still driving at that point or not. The Kofi moment went to Kairi Sane, where she was hanging on the side of the ring like Spider-Man.
That's insane.
And then she got eliminated anyway, so it was a waste of time. But it was cool looking at the time.
That's why I saw that meme on Twitter today. All right, it was not getting eliminated. Got it. All right, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, she got the Kofi spot.
Why is Kairi saying Spider-Man all of a sudden? It was her elimination. Understood.
Yeah. There were a lot of like skin the cat spots, I feel like. There was a lot of like, oh, look, he's dangling. Do you think he's going to go right over? And like people like, they just like wouldn't follow up on it. Like a lot of them would just like throw him over the top rope and then turn their back and then they'd pull themselves back in the ring. It's like, dude, you should be making sure that like they're going over. If that's like, if this is real, you should be like hip checking them or like fucking hitting them or like do something else, you know, like
anything.
Just, I don't know. That's just a weird nitpick. I just realized a lot of people going for that. And it's like, especially in the men's rumble, I think there were like maybe 4 or 5 of those spots. And it's like, it was special. It was special when Shawn Michaels would do it and he would get like 2 or 3 inches off the ground and you're like, oh my God. But like now it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's going over and oh, look at that. He's pulling himself back up. Yeah, he's going to go right up and over and he's good to go.
Wow.
At least Kairi Sane, when she did it, she was like super fucking close. That was like actually, I was like, holy shit. That was different. That was new.
Who was ripping Bianca's hair out of her head?
Jordan Grace.
Well, no, wasn't there a spot where someone was about to get eliminated, but they were holding on to the pony.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I
they're holding on the ponytail.
Yeah, I feel like someone did that. I
That
don't remember.
Bailey? Let me see if I could find it. Hold on.
I just remember the spot.
That's such a good
how
spot.
memorable it was. It was a really good spot.
I was like, oh wow, we're gonna see a scalping live. Oh, boy.
Gonna get her hair pulled out on live TV.
Jesus. Regardless, still a good spot nonetheless. And overall, the Royal Rumble, I think that's also on me for setting my expectations too high. Of course, I was not the, oh my God, it's a guaranteed Sasha Banks and Okada are both going to show up. I'm not one of those people. Sure, I said MJF was my long shot surprise last podcast, but I'm not, going to cry myself to sleep because he didn't show up. But overall, it was okay. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Era is really on the road to WrestleMania, and I'm excited to see what happens at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Elimination Chamber is at like 3 a.m.
Woof.
Yeah, I'm not watching that one live. I'm letting you guys know that now. I'm not staying up that late. I'll watch the fucking TikToks the day after. It's cool.
Hear me out. This is not anything set in stone just yet, but there may be a plan in the works between myself and FGK to do a coffee and wrestling reactions to Elimination Chamber at 5 in the fucking morning.
Oh no! You lost me at the 5 a.m.
I know. You can hear it in my voice about how excited I am.
Yeah. Why 5? Why?
Because isn't that when it's like the pre-show starts at 4 a.m. and the main card's not till 5 in the morning?
Oh, you guys are gonna do it live.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be live to 2 people.
Yes.
Real definition of fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, really.
Ain't that the truth?
So I guess where can people find this coffee and wrestling at 5 a.m.?
That will be over on twitch.tv/FireGuyKev. I hate plugging that, but that's where it's going to be. But there was another thing that went down in the world of wrestling. I would just love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Turns out that allegedly the Vincent Kennedy McMahon character was never a character, and that's just who he is in real life. And CM Punk tried to tell us. CM Punk tried to warn us, and none of us wanted to listen.
I've been saying it for years. Vincent Kennedy McMahon is not a character. The best pro wrestling characters are when you take your own personality and tune it up just a little bit. If he is that bad of a person on TV, odds are he was probably doing it in real life. Now, allegedly, this all happened in 2019. Allegedly. What the actual fuck, dude? Literally. What is this shit? Literally, what is this shit that was apparently on a human body? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I thought I understood everything that was going on behind the scenes, but now that this has come out, I know nothing. I know not a damn thing about the world of wrestling because, good Lord, this is a lot to take in, especially at such a pivotal time for this company, trying to move forward to one of their biggest shows of the year and have this come out with such negative attention on it all. And I feel like I had things to say about it and my emotions all processed, but I don't know what to say. I'm still dumbfounded by all of this.
I think one of the main things, and I'm going to honestly say one of the main things that WWE needs to do immediately is they need to put out a statement or something. Not TKO. I know they put theirs out. WWE needs to put theirs out, because last night after the Royal Rumble, I like to stay up and watch the press conference just because I stay up late anyway. I usually go to bed at like 2 a.m. So, like, if I'm going to be up, might as well have it on in the background. I'm editing shit. I'm doing other stuff anyway. It's background noise. But they did ask Triple H, surprisingly, they asked him about his thoughts, and not even just about the lawsuit, but just what steps WWE is taking to make sure that people are safe and comfortable moving forward. And obviously, they're going to have all their standard shit in place, and there's open door policy and all that stuff that you would expect them to have. But Triple H responded just by saying everything possible. That's not a good response. He needed to actually treat this seriously. And I get that he wants to focus on the positive aspects. I do too. I'm a wrestling fan. I don't want to talk about the owner of a business that I have watched for. I'm 25. I started watching wrestling at 10. I've been watching wrestling for 15 years. I don't want to hear about the owner of that company naming dildos after my favorite wrestlers. Rather not know that. I don't want to focus on that either, but it needs to be addressed by WWE. Like, they can't just gloss over this, like if they handle it the right way, I think WWE, the entity, will be fine, because Vincent McMahon is gone. He is gone. He has resigned, which is great. Slim Jim, love to see it. And I think that WWE needs to handle it better. Yeah, I mean, listen,
we're in.
listen, it's bad when Slim Jim goes, no, fuck you, we're out. Like, oh, damn, dude, Slim Jim gave them so much money over so long. They stuck with Vincent McMahon through all the steroid bullshit and all that other stuff. And then they're like, nah, we're good. We're pulling out.
Like, that's how serious this is. That's how important this is to, like, brands and the people that have worked closely with this person for so long, like, in learning that he's this much of a scumbag in real life. It's like, no, I do not want my brand close to this. I do not want my brand tied to this. I am gone. Bye.
The first WWE product to come out on Netflix is scheduled to be a documentary about Vince McMahon. Before any of their TV rights start with Netflix, the very first impression that anyone on Netflix is going to have of WWE is Vince McMahon being a sexual criminal.
Well, I'm sure too, though, like when, they interviewed Triple H and all that stuff, I'm sure TKO probably was like, hey, you don't get to talk about it. Whatever they ask, short and sweet. Do not say anything.
Yeah.
He also said that he didn't read it, though.
Huh?
Triple H said he did not read the lawsuit, so he does not know what is in there.
Maybe that's just what he wants us to think.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what he said at the press conference.
I'm sure TKO probably said, hey, whatever they ask you, you don't get to comment.
But it wasn't like a corporate, like, pre-canned response. It felt like Triple H just being like, I can't talk about it, but nobody told me that I can't talk about it. But we all know that I can't talk about it, which I get. But at the very least, he needs to be like,
especially since he's been
X, Y, and Z, and
he's not just close to Vince; he's related to Vince at this point. So,
literal son-in-law.
There are 5 unnamed WWE corporate officers in that lawsuit. He very well could be one of them. I hope not. I hope not. But there are people in that lawsuit that are just straight up unnamed, and I am not saying that he is. I believe that when Triple H voted to keep Vince McMahon out of the WWE, I think it's because Vince McMahon and Triple H, yes, they want to run a wrestling company. They want to run different types of wrestling companies. I don't think Triple H wants Vince McMahon around. I don't think he is involved with any of this stuff. I really don't want him to be involved with any of this stuff, because all disclosure, I'm a Triple H fan. I like his booking. I like the WWE. I really don't want there to be another fucking person involved that's going to make this even worse for the company. But there's an opportunity that people that are currently working in the WWE could be unnamed participants in this alleged lawsuit, and they need to make a statement about what they are doing to protect their people now.
Yeah, because if I was a blossoming young female talent in the college scene, like a collegiate wrestler or something, and I see this coming out about how they treat women who
I'd stay
are
away.
employed at this company, I would want absolutely nothing to do with it. Not a thing. There would be nothing that you could do to convince me. No amount of money to pay me to associate myself with the WWE at this point.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's their company. I'm sure once more gets said or more goes forward, they'll probably talk more.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm sure, however the lawsuit goes and the alleged stuff going on, however that all plays out, I'm sure we'll determine what they say and what they do. Right?
Yeah. I think the future of this is super dependent on what the next move is. I think Vince stepping away is a good thing. I think Hunter, clearly, like, it being public knowledge that Hunter was one of the few people that voted to keep Vince away is a good thing. I think Stephanie stepping away when she did might have been a good thing. The jury's still out on that one because,
I think that was kind of a sign, right?
Yeah, there could be some sort of air of complicity, allegedly, And one side, while the name Stephanie is fresh in my mind, seeing all of those clips come out now of how she was treated and used in the Attitude Era, and
that's true. You never watched that.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, you never got to watch that. I watched that live as a child. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
I think I saw something on Twitter about how Kurt was talking about the one scene where he ended up kissing Stephanie, making out with her, whatever.
While she was unconscious.
Yep.
And Vince was essentially on the other side of the camera, encouraging it almost. And knowing that and seeing what's going on now, oh boy, color me uncomfortable.
The same dude that pitched the incest angle with his own daughter.
Did you ever see the clip? Again, this is all stuff I watched as a kid. The clip of when Linda was like catatonic in a wheelchair and he would constantly make out with Trish in front of her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Odd. Very odd.
Like, looking back, it's all really uncomfortable. But
hey, now that Vince McMahon is gone, can we get Trish back?
Like, this is weird, but
sorry. I was now that Vince McMahon is gone, can we get Trish back?
Did she?
Who knows? She might be done. Like,
most recently because of Vince?
I don't know if it was because of Vince, but it's well known that she doesn't necessarily like Vince. He made her bark like a dog.
An old man making me crawl around on my hands and legs like a fucking animal and making me bark on national television.
And now we know probably
she doesn't like him.
It.
Ugh, unheard of. The audacity of Trish, my goodness.
Poured a dirty mop bucket on her.
I've also met her in real life. She is a lovely woman and an absolute pleasure to talk to.
Oh yeah, I met her too. Yeah, she's great. I like Trish Stratus.
I think the other thing that's making me very mucho uncomfortable about all of this is the supposed and alleged addition of a certain UFC heavyweight champion into all of this as well. So,
yeah.
It is very much a good thing that he did not come back at the Royal Rumble, because I feel like the arena would not have been favorable towards him. Rightfully so, might I add. It would have been a good thing that the arena would have booed him out of Tampa Bay. Albeit, even though Tampa Bay wasn't making any noise at all throughout the night, I feel like at the very least they would have booed Brock Lesnar.
Would have been the only time.
Yeah, it would have been the only time.
I don't think we're gonna
noise.
I don't think we're gonna see him until any of this gets figured out. I don't think he's going to be around anytime soon.
It's going to be a year or two.
I am okay with that.
Everybody's like, oh, he should be at Mania. And it's like, no, he shouldn't.
No.
Not if he knows what's good for him, because it's not going to be like a great scenario. Even if it all ended up being not real, which, it's all alleged. It's an alleged lawsuit.
Right. Allegedly.
But it's one of those things where, right now you are on the hot seat. Your name is associated with something not great. You don't get to be in the public eye for a bit. You just don't. That's the rules.
You don't deserve to get people cheering for you. You don't deserve to get adulation. You don't deserve to feel good things at the moment. And trust me, I enjoy Brock Lesnar's work. At the same time, I also enjoyed Chris Benoit's work, but I can separate the fact that outside of his work, he's a shitty person. He murdered people. He is a bad human being. I don't care if this is all true about Lesnar. I can separate that from his work. I can enjoy what he did in WWE and still look at him and say that you are a piece of shit, allegedly.
I'm worried that since there are all those unnamed people, that there's gonna, like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? When do we find out who they are? You know,
well,
and I mean,
that's just it. This was all, you know, again, alleged,
right.
and allegedly, but it's all. She was part of an NDA, wasn't allowed to talk about anything, and would still not be talking about it had she been paid.
That's the most Vince McMahon thing ever, by the way, that he made her sign an NDA and then stop fucking paying it. That is like, are you fucking kidding me, Vince? Bro, what the fuck? If I had paid someone and I was like, don't talk about this shit or I'm going to go to jail. And then he stops paying. What did he expect to happen? Like, I just don't understand. And apparently, like, Linda was the one that wanted the NDA. And it's like, bro, you're okay with this? Like, what the fuck?
Those two. Oh boy. I'm not one to tell someone how to act or handle their relationships, but if it's public knowledge that Vince McMahon is still with Vince, that poor fucking brainwashed woman. Good Lord, she needs to drop his ass like a bad habit and distance herself from all this.
Remember when she was like running a political campaign and they were just playing all of her ads during Raw and SmackDown all the time?
Oh yeah.
That was so annoying.
That was odd. I do not miss that era of wrestling whatsoever.
Yeah, they were afraid to put ads on the mat. Which now they surround the ring and the banners and everything with ads. Oh my god, dude. The Slim Jim ring hurts to look at. I'm sorry. It's so bright.
I'm so glad our Cricket 5G sponsorship came with a side of Royal Rumble. So glad.
The ads on the rings, it looks like when you're in a WWE game and you make a custom arena. Like, that's what that shit looks like. Like the stereotypical.
But it looks like you don't know how to make a custom arena yet. It looks like you're just making generic arena number one.
Like, I have this one picture that I don't know, posted everywhere.
Yeah, I'll just do a wraparound of this because I don't know.
I'll just do a nice step and repeat because I have no other idea for what to do for the rest of my arena. Looks like Slim Jim it is.
The Slim Jim arena. Hey, can that be what Jackalmania is in next year? This year?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
The Slim Jim arena.
Good.
Jackalmania brought to you by Slim Jim.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah. Dude, shout out to Pat McAfee with the Macho Man impression. That was really good.
That was hype.
I heard it over commentary and I was like, what the fuck? Is that a sound effect? And they were like,
my God.
That was a good one, Pat. I was like, damn, they should bring it back just to do that. Just anytime there's a Slim Jim sponsorship, just bring Pat McAfee and just say, oh yeah.
Now that you brought up the game and mentioned Pat in the same sentence, I hope to God that Pat is like a selectable commentator for 2K24 or at the very least like DLC or something, because that will make playing that game so much more interesting to me, because at this point I just turned the commentary off in the 2K games.
Yeah, it's the only way I'd keep it going is if it was like Pat McAfee and Wade Barrett. I think those are the only two that I would take. Apparently they have like realistic referees and Samantha Irving's doing like the ring announcing. So I don't know if you'll be able to like select commentators or how that's going to work, but I mean, it feels like they're trying to at least bring in like an aspect of like mimicking what people like to see on TV, because like they didn't go with like the SmackDown ring announcer, you know, like hopefully.
At the Chiefs Ravens game, and somehow the score hasn't changed at all since the first half.
Yeah, I've been watching this game as we've been recording, and it has been 17-7 the whole time. Actually, while we're talking about it, apparently there was a referee in this game that is notorious for calling like unnecessary roughness and holding calls against the home team, and that is all I've really been seeing called this game. I mean, there's been other penalties here and there for sure, but most of it has just been like unnecessary roughness, and it's always on Baltimore, it seems.
And
they're paying to make them lose.
I think the NFL wants Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. I think it's what they want.
I get it.
Can I just say real quick, if the Chiefs do win, and right now they are 7 minutes away from doing so, I'm going to be very excited to have all of those color theory people finally be able to shut the fuck up. I am so colors. Over. The colors are going to give away the Super Bowl. Oh my God! And when it was Kansas City and Philadelphia, it was green and red, and then the year before that, it was Bengals and the Rams, and it was orange and yellow. So that means it has to be the Ravens and the Niners. Like, no, I get it. It's really cool coincidences, but that's. I don't know. It just seeing that be the only reason why people are picking teams to win the games and not actually sound reasons why, coming from someone who knows football, pissed me off a lot more than it should have. And clearly, with the way that this game is going, like I said, 7 minutes away from all of that being incorrect. And I hope it is.
Also, what about all the other 40-something Super Bowls?
Oh, yeah,
it's only like the most like recent 4 or 5. Like, what about all the other ones? Like
in Super Bowl 1, there was actually colors to show that it was going to be Green Bay versus Kansas City because Roger Goodell was born with green and red pubes, and he's a bit. It's like what? Now you're just being silly. Now you're just being obnoxious at this point because granted, it is something for people to look at and get excited for, and it's just silly little conspiracy theories, but the way that some of these people are acting on TikTok just pisses me off, and I am sorry for getting so emotional about it.
TikTok people annoying?
Unheard of, I know.
I would be remiss if we didn't ask this question now. How you guys are feeling going into the Detroit Lions game. I mean, obviously, it's been a very long time since the Lions have been in this position.
Mm-hmm. Since 1991.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
And I am nervous, to say the very least, because we have people from our team trash talking, which is getting them hyped up. You know, I think it's going to be kind of like the game is now, where there's going to be some back and forth. It's going to get a little aggressive. We have a chance. We definitely have a chance, but this game makes me more nervous than I wanted to be.
You ain't kidding. You are not kidding.
I may cry happy tears. That's definitely possible because it would be the first time ever in my life we've gone to the Super Bowl. So, and the first time our team's gone to the Super Bowl
ever,
which is insane. So
right now, the spread is within 7.5 points, so it's going to be an extremely close game.
I mean, if they can shut down McCaffrey and beat the crap out of Purdy the whole time, I mean, we have a shot.
God, I hope so.
We definitely have a shot.
The one thing that I've constantly seen across the board is, besides the color theory shit, that San Francisco is going to win automatically just because the fucking logo is purple and red. That pissed me off to no end. Regardless, the only thing I've seen really about this game is how poor our secondary is, and they've let up so many yards to Nick Mullins, to Dak Prescott, to Stafford, to Baker. What people aren't looking at is that, yes, they're allowing these big plays to happen, but it is very much a bend, don't break defense. Like, I do believe the one game with the Vikings, they only scored 2 touchdowns. The game with the Rams, the only time they ever got in the end zone was off of big broken plays, and every single time they got down into the red zone, they weren't able to do anything with it. So yes, in the open field, Cam Sutton is probably going to give me an aneurysm at one point or another this evening. I'm just admitting it now. If I speak my truth beforehand, once the aneurysm comes, it will be a little more tolerable to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But it is going to be a point where, all right, we'll let them past us downfield, but we're not letting them in the end zone. It is not a good defense, no. I saw someone make this connection before where I believe it was the New Orleans Saints when they went on a run after the Hurricane Katrina season. Their defense was also very, 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 very suspect as well. And it was not good. They were not a top defense. The only reason that they won that Super Bowl is because the defense was passable. They got to the quarterback and they got turnovers when they needed to. And what is the Lions defense right now? They can get to the quarterback, they can get turnovers, and it's a passable defense. It is good enough to get them to the NFC Championship game, and it is going to be good enough to have them beat the 49ers this evening. Because one thing that nobody is talking about that I'm very excited for is the return of James Houston. James Houston last year as a rookie was able to notch essentially like 9 or 10 sacks in the span of the last 8 games of the season as a rookie.
Jeez.
As a rookie. If we stick him across from Hutchinson this year and he doesn't break his ankle in the Seattle game, we are so much better off than where we are now. It's unfortunate that that's what happened, but he took the entire season to rehab. He took all of this time to make sure he is good to go for the playoffs. He was able to play last week, like he was available to, but we kept him on IR for one more week, and he is activated for tonight, and I do think he's going to be quite the difference maker. So having Hutchinson and James Houston on opposite ends, making sure that we get to the quarterback no matter what. San Francisco's run defense outside of the tackles, not good. Our running backs outside of the tackles, phenomenal. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, very healthy. Jonah Jackson, he's hurt. That's going to suck. It's going to kind of be kind of shitty not having him there. Frank Ragnow, fucking Frank the Tank, is playing through every single injury known to man right now, but he is still a go. I am scared of the Avengers. Yes, I'm very scared. There's one more thing that I have not talked about, that nobody's talked about. It's a little thing called the curse of Kirk Cousins. No team that Kirk Cousins has beat in the regular season has gone on to play in the Super Bowl. Would you like to know what the San Francisco 49ers' second loss was after the Cleveland Browns game? They walked into Minnesota and they got dicked on by Kirk Cousins. One of the few teams that were able to beat the Niners.
Is that
Green Bay.
legit? Is that a real thing?
It's legit. It's legit. Google it right now. The curse of Kirk Cousins. No team that Kirk Cousins, every single Super Bowl winner has not lost to Kirk Cousins. It sounds silly, but it's true. It's damn true.
Thanks, Kurt.
Oh yeah,
right.
Since Cousins entered the NFL in 2012, no team has ever won the Super Bowl in the same season where they lost to Cousins. What the fuck?
Yep. And Cousins knocked off the 49ers.
What?
So either they break the curse or the curse continues.
Man, you should be real confident, man.
I am still firmly believing in my Lions. And as the clock winds down, as the Baltimore Ravens have under 3.5 minutes left, still being down 2 scores, yeah. I'm very much okay in the last game of the season, starting this game of the season. That is another very good storybook ending, as we got the Lions and the Chiefs that started it, the Lions and Chiefs to end it, Taylor Swift versus Eminem. Oh, baby, feed it to me. I'm ready for it.
If that's what we get, I will be so happy. Especially because we know we beat them once, we know we can beat them again.
We can do it again.
What a great script, too, by the NFL writers. Good job, NFL. Good writing. Good job, man. Better writing than AEW.
Strong work. So that's my very long-winded diatribe about that.
Mike, how you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, Jackal said everything that anybody could say and more. I've been rooting for the Lions through every season. I was a part of not getting to see games because they were blacked out on TV.
I remember
because our team was so bad. So getting to witness that and then having our team all of a sudden not just be good, but Super Bowl worthy, it's a good feeling, man. And I mean, even if we don't win, this has been a special season to get to watch. And good God, the team next year is going to be horrifying for anybody that has to face it because it's just going to get better.
Yeah.
And besides, I think we got about $70 million in cap space too.
Yeah, and I mean, I fully believe that if this team plays well in the way they can play, they're making it. So
God,
it's just a matter of time now.
We firmly believe that the Lions can do it. Holy shit, dude!
Yeah,
it is,
and it's not something that we've been able to say. It's we've prayed for a win. We've prayed for
long time.
4 wins, and then all of a sudden we have a team that has a real chance of doing it all.
On a flip note, but on the same page. Sorry, Cleveland. Sorry, Blast. There is absolutely no shot in hell that Stefanski wins Coach of the Year after what Campbell just did. There is no shot that they're going to give Coach of the Year to anyone else that's not named Dan Campbell at the moment.
I don't think anybody else has a case for it besides Dan Campbell when Dan Campbell exists.
So we are... at this point, 30 minutes away, and I cannot feel my face. I can't feel my hands. I can't feel anything on my extremities. So we're the only thing left to do except the singing. So here we go.
All we got to do is sit back and watch it, boys. And I'm excited. I think that the Chiefs versus the Lions is going to be a great Super Bowl to watch. I'm looking forward to it. I think that being a Philly fan, granted we've never had as bad of a season as Lions, no offense. But we've had some pretty bad ones. We've had some pretty bad seasons. So I get it, man. I get from going, watching your teams just never follow through and just never really get there. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh fuck, we're here. Shit. You guys are one game away. Like it's a couple hours.
My favorite thing in the world still is knowing that we were able to go 0-16 and make it to the NFC Championship before the Dallas Cowboys. That still makes me so happy.
Oh, that's a stat anyone should be proud of, man. Fuck Dallas.
I love it. Ravens got a field goal, 17-10. 2.5 minutes left. It's still close there, but baby,
it's close. But I doubt it. I realistically think. Both teams do still have 2 timeouts left. So I do think that it could be close with Kansas City and Baltimore, but I feel pretty confident saying that Kansas City is going to probably walk out of that one. I feel like they've been playing really, really, really solid today. Granted, Travis Kelce has almost gotten like 6 or 7 fights, but that's just Travis Kelce being Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
I said it in our little group chat earlier. The night and day difference between the night and day difference between Kansas City Chiefs football in the regular season and the postseason is fucking wild.
Scary, very scary.
But did you see? I guess Kadarius Toney listed as injured this game?
Injured for hip and personal reasons.
Did you see that he said he's not, and they're just saying he's injured so that he can't play?
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
On a much more important note,
he's like, man, I ain't injured for shit. He's like, they're saying I'm injured and I'm not.
I think more importantly, I think his wife is giving birth to his first child, which I think is the more important reason to not play in a football game. So
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Darius. You look like a psychotic monster, but congratulations on your child.
Don't let him try and catch it. He'll drop it.
No, no.
Well, gentlemen, on that note, we've officially clocked in at the longest episode.
Nice.
Woo!
So, gentlemen, on that note, we're going to go ahead and end it. I am very, very, very excited to watch the Lions in just, at this point, under half an hour. If you want to hear more from me, you can go over to twitch.tv/EraV1. I'm also on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and basically anywhere else you can find me.
My name's Jackal Joker. Don't look for me on the internet. Don't. I'm scared. I'm scared. I just had someone message my personal Facebook.
True.
I don't want people finding me on the internet anymore.
Yeah, don't message our personal stuff.
Nervous.
And I'm Mike. I'm just happy to be here.
All right. Sounds great.
Go watch them. Go watch their individual stuff. They're both going to be streaming later. It's going to be a fun time.
Hey, Mike. Oh, low blow. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boo.
No. Ah, God.
Oh, yeah. How quick. I got the pin. 1, 2, 3.
That's it. Ring the bell.
Why my crotch? Oh, God.
Oh, man. You actually hit him. Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry. I got a little excited.